Hey guys, Dylan Tommy here. Let's do a big green room update. The systems are looking great, and they've had some changes recently. So we'll cruise. We'll take a good look at some of these tanks. As you can see, this 55 has the Madagascar lace plant in it now, and I think it looks great. It has room to grow and spread out, and it's really the only place for it in the green room. It's the largest planted tank, and I've also added this red lily here, which was doing pretty good in the grow out tank, so I hope it acclimates to the conditions in here. But as you can see, this tank's doing phenomenal. All the baby tiers that pretty much carpeted out on the left hand side, I've added their clippings to the right hand side, and this side will likely carpet out very soon too. I'm just hoping that a lot of the stem plants, some of the Ludwigia and Rotala that I still have mixed amongst the baby tiers, will remain healthy. But this system's looking great, really looking bright and healthy. We'll keep cruising. I switched up the grow out tank. What I did was I moved Mojo down here and cleaned out his system a little bit, pulled out a lot of the wisteria, and just cleaned it up. We'll check him out, but he's always hiding in the vegetation. And real quickly, I'll give you a sneak peek of the vivarium. I'd like to save this for its own video, but I showed you guys the build out video and really haven't said much about it since. So we'll take a quick look. Those are all live mosses in there, and the habitat's rolling. We'll keep cruising because I made some changes over here. You guys know about the guppy tank and the driftwood that I removed. But what I've done is I let all this deformis, all this water sprite that I initially had floating around the tank, kind of root itself here into the substrate, and all these plants are really growing out nice and helping to stabilize and balance this system. You see a little bit of floating vegetation, some of the water sprite's still up here, but I allowed a lot of them just to kind of root into the substrate. And because I removed that driftwood, I wanted to keep some moss in here. So you see it kind of draped here on the rock. And I also added several cherry shrimp to this tank to help scavenge with these snails and balance the system. What you see left of the hair algae here is pretty much left on this rock and on what's left of the Java moss. But all these snails are really doing a good job at taking care of it because the system itself is looking great. It's kind of back to good. The birth rate hasn't really been very well since I've been battling with this system and making a lot of changes. They haven't produced much fry in the last month or so, even 2 months. But I hope now that the system's kind of back to normal and stable, and I'm not going to really be messing with it too much, they'll start to produce again. Driftwood. I had also added a little melon sword, kind of just stuck it in there. It came out of the grow out tank too. And I can show you what happened to the grow out tanks. They've become 2 little tanks here. A lot of this wisteria, some of the Rotala stems, and just everything in these rich systems will go into a new tank eventually. But for now, they'll just be holding tanks. Let's pop in here. We've got the paludarium rocking, and it's doing very well. You guys haven't seen it in a couple of days, weeks rather, and the system itself is good. I did trim some of the moss because it was getting really thick right here where it's draped into the water, and you can see all the baby tiers. They've just grown out phenomenal. Looks a little ratty because the newts do climb all over everything. And you look at the system itself, you see a lot of baby tiers kind of floating in that corner over there. They do tear it up, there's no doubt about it. I don't expect to keep this tank finely scaped with the newts in here because they dig through the substrate and just really tear it up. But it's kind of held in for now. The moss has done very well, and it'll likely always stay down here. The drip system's on now. It's very wet in there right now. keep growing.
And I'm loving this Madagascar lace plant right in the middle here. I mean, come on. Where else could it go? Except right there. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Like I said, I'll keep you updated. Totally appreciate it. You guys tank on. Peace.